Hey group, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for joining me in this video. Now, for this one, I realized that I had cut out a bunch of my building tutorial from one of my previous videos. And I meant to make a building tutorial, like an actual full building tutorial video. And I just never got around to it. I just started getting into this game and started exploring and finding all kinds of stuff, and I was getting really excited and really into the game and completely forgot about it, and I just remembered. So I just want to do a quick building tutorial and show you as much as I know. First things first, your hammer. You're going to need that in order to build stuff, and you'll see down in the bottom center, now I have all of these building things. Some of these things you are not going to have. I have unlocked a few different things because of materials that I found. So you're not going to see quite as many things down here that I have when you're first starting out. Now the building in this game, when you first get your very first base, it's a little bit backwards. None of the terrain is very flat. And you can actually flatten out the terrain, but you have to build the workbench first, which is kind of backwards. It's kind of annoying, and sometimes it doesn't really work out all that well, and I'll show you what I mean. A lot of the building is physics-based, and I'll go over that some more as well. But first things first, now that I've got the workbench down, I can start throwing up all my different base pieces and stuff like that, but if I try to access my workbench, it's going to tell me it needs a roof. So, okay. So this is what I do in the very beginning, just to get things going, is I'll place a wall down right behind it. Make sure you're looking kind of at the sides, otherwise it won't snap right. If you look at it from this angle, you'll notice there's no snap point. I can't get it to snap where I want it to. I have to be looking at this edge. So we'll snap that. And then in order to rotate these pieces, you have to use your middle mouse wheel. You can just scroll up or down to rotate all your pieces. Now when you turn them, they seem to snap okay to edges like that. So I'll snap one there. I'll rotate this one all the way around just so it... is that straight? It doesn't look straight. Okay, that's straight. There we go. We'll snap that one there. And then I have to find my roof. Rotate that around. Find the snap point. Sometimes it's a little hard to do, but if you just kind of play around with it some, you'll get it. Now sometimes, like right now, it's going to allow me to access my workbench, but I've had it happen a bunch of other times where I'll do this and it'll still say I can't access my workbench because it's too exposed. If you get that message, then go ahead and just add, the one way I found to fix that is to add 2 more wall pieces out, just like that. And every time I have done this, it has allowed me to access my workbench. So, depending, you might not need to build these 2 extra walls. It might make you. You'll just have to find out for yourself. And then once you access your workbench, now you've got all these extra things. And this right here, the hoe, is what you're going to use to flatten out the terrain. I'm going to go ahead and move that up there to number 6. And when I select it, you're going to see this circle, and where my crosshair is, it's going to pick the height of that terrain and try to raise all the terrain up in that big circle. So as you can see, it kind of stayed within that radius of that circle wherever I'm aiming, and tried to raise all the surrounding terrain to the same height as my crosshair where the center is. Now here's a building trick that I've learned. Go ahead and build probably like 2 or 3 of these hoes, depending on the size of the base you're planning on building, and then flatten out the area ahead of time that you want to turn into your base. If you try to flatten out underneath this stuff, sometimes it works, and other times, like right now, it seems to be working okay. Okay, we got away with it. Doing alright. I'm just gonna keep going around, make sure. Alright, cool. Now, sometimes your stuff might be floating off the ground like that, and I mean, there's not much you can do about it except for maybe try to raise the terrain. Like over here, it's higher, so I'll try to bring it up and then bring it over carefully and see if I can get it. There we go. That kind of works. And you got to be careful. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell looking down on the terrain, you know, which part's a little higher, which part's a little lower. And if you're off by just a little bit, you're going to completely screw up all the work you just did. Now, you got to be careful with this. The one thing I ran into is probably, I don't know, I want to say 4 times, 5 times out of 10, when I did this underneath a workbench, it completely destroyed my workbench and all my walls on my roof. Because the terrain changed underneath it, it just like destroyed all this stuff and it broke. So you got to be careful. That's why I say, as a tip, just build like build this temporary little thing, and then flatten out all the terrain where you want your actual base to be, and then just come over and select your hammer, and if you right-click on your building pieces, you're going to destroy it, and you're going to get all the wood back that you used to make that stuff. So it's like, as far as I know, it seems to be a 1-to-1, so, which is really nice. That way you don't, you know, only get half of your building materials back, because that's really annoying. Alright guys, well I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead, and I'm going to rebuild my little thing, and then I'll show you guys the rest of the building. Okay, well I just started setting stuff down, and I got that little glitch like I was talking about before, where sometimes earlier it worked perfectly fine when I built this little thing, but now, this time, it says station is too exposed up in the top left hand underneath all my stuff. So like I said, if that happens, this little trick right here, you can just add 2 more walls, and voila, there we go. Now I can get back, now I can access my workbench again and start getting all the other stuff. Now obviously you can start building your base any way you want around your workbench. I just did this temporarily so that I could access it and show you guys stuff. So there we go. I've got kind of some flat ground, and most of this stuff is set to, it's physics-based. You have different building pieces. You have half walls. You've got the doors. This is the roof pieces. Generally, the houses, I found, the bases and stuff, work really, really well if you make a 3 wide, 3 by whatever the heck you want to make it. And then these building pieces all snap together okay sometimes. It's kind of hard to get this guy to work. I haven't quite found the sweet spot on this thing yet, but it sits over here in the corner. But you build that, and then you build one of these guys, these X pieces, and then you build another one of those over on the other side. Oh, I had the correct way to start with. Just like that, basically. And that's all snaps together and fits really well. You can obviously be creative and go as far as you want, do whatever the heck you want with it. You have your floor pieces you can always put down. You should probably lay out floor pieces ahead of time, because sometimes they just don't want to snap. But anyways, I'll show you guys the physics-based thing, which actually surprised me, because this game is early alpha, so I didn't think it would have a mechanic like this. There are a lot of games out there that will allow you to just kind of build out over nothingness for eternity. And you can see when I'm looking at it, it's starting to change colors. These ones are a bright green, and then it goes into this like odd green color, like a yellowish almost, and now it's gone into almost like an orange brown color. Now if I add another piece, it's turned red. That's it. That's as far as it's going to go. If I try to build another one onto that, boom. It's not going to stick. You can't build anything else on it. Now I haven't really done this too much. I haven't tested this out. Let's see if it'll take a wall. Nope. Can't attach anything if it's red. If it's a brown color, I believe you can. Yeah, if it's red, you've gone too far. They do have wood poles, but I can snap it onto a corner. Now you can see that one's red. I can't snap another wood. I can't snap another pole to that, or it's gonna break. There we go. Broken. And the other hard part with these is that if I were to move it back farther, if I can't see the bottom of this thing, I'm not going to be able to snap it. And so these things can get really, really tough to get just right. I know a lot of people get really into the building and they really try to get everything to look nice and pretty and all lined up perfectly. And this game is going to challenge you. Let's see, we have the stairs. And stairs behave the same way. You can only take those so high and then it's going to just, you know, break down. Unless they have something to stick onto. I think if you stick them to like a wall like this, they should be okay. I really don't know. I haven't built a really tall base to test that. You guys can test it out if you want. Wood stack, I have absolutely no idea what this does. I really don't. I've built one and I couldn't access it or anything. So I thought maybe I could just like store a crap load of wood in it or something. Not so. I think it's just something to look at. Stake walls, I haven't really set those up too much. It's not really a necessity. I guess those would probably come in more in handy if you were playing multiplayer and you had other actual players out and about. You guys aren't going to have the stone walls and stuff at first. You're going to have to unlock those later on. And just play around with this stuff a lot. Yeah, see, there's, like I said, with the 3 wide, you got the middle piece. And then if you come over a third, you can add another one of these. And then the wall and everything snaps together wonderfully and perfectly. And works and looks fine. Furniture, make sure you guys build a bed. This is your spawn point. I'm not sure if it actually works. But something to remember, I don't know if it's going to let me build it here. Oh, it did. When you lay your bed down, you have to come up to it and it's going to say claim. You got to press E to claim it, but my bed is too exposed right now because I don't have enough roof pieces over it or whatever. So make sure you claim your bed. I don't really know. I haven't died yet, so I don't know if I respawn, and I haven't wanted to test it because I don't know where it's going to take me if it doesn't work right. I'll worry about that when I actually get killed. Wood chests, these are great, but they have a very small amount of storage space in them. There's only 8 spots, and most of the stack sizes aren't too big. So you are going to build these a lot. You're going to have a crap ton of these all over the place after a while. It gets a little ridiculous. I've got a bunch of them, and I'm constantly forgetting what each of them is. I'll have to come up with a system one of these days. Wooden standing torches are very, very nice. Make sure you build some of those around your base. Kind of put a semi-circumference or build one in all 4 corners, at least. And in the beginning, that's going to keep those little blue-eyed gray dwarfs away because they're afraid of fire. So while you're trying to build your base and you get stuff done, if you have a little bit of a circumference, a perimeter of those torches, then they won't be able to come in and bother you the whole freaking time. And your cooking station is something you'll want to set up, and cooking stations are a 2-part deal. You'll need to build your cooking station, and then you'll need to add a fire pit directly underneath it. And now you'll be able to use your cooking station. You'll have to add wood to these things after a while, but honestly, one log or one piece of fuel lasts for freaking ever. It's a long, long time, so I wouldn't even worry about wasting wood. Just wait until it goes out. And the last thing that I almost forgot about again is that in the miscellaneous, if you scroll number 1, it says repair. All of your building has durability. So if you come back, you just kind of got to check around. And what I do is I basically just click randomly while I'm looking at my base. Because it does start to lose durability over time. And parts of your base, if it sits too long, it will actually just blow up. It'll just destroy itself and explode, basically. Mostly it's floor pieces and stairs, I've noticed, go bad way sooner than anything else. So keep an eye on your stairs, if you have any, and all of your floors. Always just check on them from time to time and just kind of randomly click with your repair and check your ceilings and stuff like that. My walls and my ceilings seem to be good. They don't ever really seem to go bad. They've stayed good for quite some time, so I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. Just keep an eye on it. Alright, guys. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to do a small building tutorial for you. Go over all the stuff that I know about so far. So, good games. Hope to see you out there. And good luck.